Could you believe that guy? I don't know what he was thinking.
He was an accident waiting to happen.
I know. My friends Hassan and Danielle wanted to join me on a trip to the park on this beautiful day, but our drive here was anything but beautiful.
It's amazing how many bad drivers we encountered on the short drive over here. Let's take a look back at some of those drivers now.
We started our trip like any other, by first putting on our seatbelts.
It's a good thing, too. It wasn't long before we noticed a scary trend. So many people were driving with major distractions. Look at this guy. He's eating and having his morning coffee in the car. Please, just wake up 5 minutes earlier and eat breakfast at home. You need your hands to drive the car. Or how about this guy reading a newspaper while driving? I don't think I even need to explain how dangerous that is.
Don't forget about the woman on her cell phone, Hassan. This has got to be the worst distraction of them all, not to mention the most likely. Look at her. She's even texting now. Texting requires you to take your eyes off the road for way too long. How bad of a distraction is cell phone use? Well, some researchers say that talking on the phone while driving is comparable to driving drunk. In some cities, including New York, they've already banned cell phone use while driving. In the time it takes to look down at your keypad to dial a number, major changes can occur on your path of travel. So what about a headset? Doesn't help. The biggest distraction lies within the actual talking. Think about it. Reacting to your driving environment is hard enough without listening to someone talk directly into your ear. Your brain's good, but not that good. Save the conversation for the coffee shop and pay attention to the road ahead.
What about talking with passengers in the car or listening to the radio? Aren't these distractions just as bad?
That's a great question, Danielle. However, researchers haven't found these distractions to be anywhere near as dangerous. Holding a conversation with a passenger or listening to the radio at a reasonable volume isn't considered risky behavior.
That's interesting. Well, distractions weren't the only problems we noticed on our trip. There were awful drivers all around us. The driver of this car loved riding our rear bumper. If we would have had to slam on our brakes, for any reason, this car had next to no chance of stopping in time.
You both had to see that car on the highway weaving in and out of lanes. Cops are on the lookout for drivers like this. Speeding and cutting in and out of traffic is sure to get you charged with reckless driving. Beyond the repercussions of such a charge, this is extremely unsafe. If you see a driver like this, just stay in your lane until they pass. You never know where they're going.
This type of driving is dangerous too. You could severely interrupt the flow of traffic and cause a serious crash, especially on a highway. If nothing else, you're bound to frustrate a lot of drivers behind you.
There was something at an intersection that could easily be avoided. We saw a driver that couldn't decide whether they wanted to drive through an intersection or stop. They saw the light turn yellow and began braking, then accelerated, then braked abruptly. By the time they stopped, they were a few feet out into the intersection and a hazard to cross traffic. Luckily for that driver, we noticed this and gave him some space to back up. Most drivers wouldn't be so lucky. When approaching an intersection with a green light, always be prepared for the light to turn yellow and know whether you're going to stop or drive through the intersection. Pick a telephone pole, roadway sign, or some other landmark as a point of no return. Here's an example. As the car approaches the intersection, the driver selects this road sign as the point of no return. If the light turns yellow before the driver reaches this sign, then he will stop at the intersection. If the light turns yellow after he has already passed this road sign, he will proceed through the intersection. Choosing a point of no return allows you to avoid hesitation and prevents you from coming to a stop in the middle of an intersection. With practice and experience, this will come as second nature.
Another thing we noticed at an intersection was a red light runner. We were sitting at a red light for a minute or so when it finally turned green. At least a full second after our light had turned green, the driver on the right clearly ran a red light. If we would have accelerated as soon as the light turned green, we may have been hit by that car. Another annoying and unsafe maneuver is squeezing into a turn lane at the very last second. You could easily cause a fender bender or infuriate the driver behind you with a move like this. Be smart and plan ahead to avoid having to do this.
One more thing we should mention is school bus safety. Always use extra caution when traveling near a school bus. Whether you're following or driving towards a bus, you must always stop if its red lights start flashing and the stop sign opens.
It's crazy how we noticed all those driving hazards in a 20-minute drive to the park.
It's hard to imagine not getting into an accident with such unsafe driving going on all around us all the time.
That's why it's important to be a defensive driver. You never know what somebody else is thinking about out there. And you've got to avoid making others angry.
Some drivers are ticking time bombs waiting to snap and become dangerously aggressive. Check out the Road Rage bonus feature to learn more about aggressive drivers and how to respond to them. While we're going to enjoy the rest of this gorgeous day, keep all of the things you saw here in mind as you drive. It could prevent you from costly collisions and unnecessary injuries.